Let's look ahead to Wednesday. There are 8 games in the NBA. Let's preview them. Who will we streaming in, Michael Bolton?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I've got 2 tickets to Iron Maiden, baby. And I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We're available on all platforms, so double bang, so thumb up, so bell, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Running a little bit behind time today, so I am going to attempt, unsuccessfully I'm sure, to get through this really quickly. Because it is coming out a bit late, and then the games are starting, and then the games finish early today. We have the recap show coming out. All that stuff is enough talk. Let's do it. We're talking about Wednesday. We're talking about the 8 games. It is March 20th, and we are bang smack in the 4th last week of the NBA season. The first game up is the Miami Heat. They are taking on old mates, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and there are a lot of blokes currently not going to play in this one. So let's talk about schedule first. The Heat go Wednesday, Friday, Sunday this week. So do the Cavs. Next week, we get into stinking streaming week. Absolutely stinking stuff from here on out. Next week, there are 3 quality game days. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So when you see their schedule, just watch for those days. So we look at this and go, Miami has got a 3-game week, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. The Cavs have got a perfect prime schedule, 4 games. Except every one of those Cavs games is on a high-volume day, meaning they have 0 quality games. The Heat have 1. It's a bad, bad week. Who's out? Duncan Robinson is. Kevin Love is. Tyler Hero is. Jimmy Butler, who's missed the last 2, is questionable again. Little Chungus, Nikola Jovic is questionable with a hamstring. And then Don Mitchell's out for at least a week with a facial fracture. They keep not mentioning that his knee is absolutely rooted. I think we are at the stage. Obviously, if your finals this week, you drop Donovan Mitchell. You are getting closer to the spot where you can drop Donovan Mitchell because he's out at least a week. I think it extends further. Honestly, I think it pushes into April. I don't think you have to. Obviously, he's an awesome player. But I think this is going to last a long time, honestly. Max Strus is out again. No update on whatever the hell's going on there. And no update on Evan Mobley. We were supposed to get an update to say whether he was available or not. Nothing. So I don't know. He's out, but no idea. And then Dean Wade's out. Jaime Jaquez, he does more when Butler is out. He doesn't usually do more when it's a 2-guard out. He doesn't usually do more when it's a power forward out. But there are still going to be extra minutes there. We know he's really struggled with what he's done. And I don't really consider him as a must-grab sort of guy if Butler is out. I'd much prefer like a Caleb Martin. But we need to watch Jaquez because everyone loves him. They still rave about how awesome he is, even though I think he's dropped off pretty significantly. Karis LeVert is in the huge spot there for the Cavs. No Mitchell, no Strus, no Wade, no Mobley. LeVert's going to do tons. Great value for him rest of the week. Guys getting boosted also. Caleb Martin gets that boost. He would be the guy I'd prefer very clearly over Jaquez with Duncan Robinson out. But they're going to have to find who's going to play, man. Like Patty Mills, Dylan Wright, they're going to have to play more for sure. George Niang also getting that boost in Cleveland. Watch Marcus Morris too. We had 14 points with 4 threes last game. Niang's the guy that I do prefer because he gets more minutes and he is starting, but there is some boosts going on there for both of these teams as they are extraordinarily banged up. And again, we talk about this, so this is the worst time to play fantasy, all that sort of stuff. Those teams are banged up because they're injured, not because of fake injuries, not because of tanking, not because of anything. Because the season is long, we're 4 or 5 months into it, these guys have played 65 games, and injuries have accumulated, and they are hurt. And there are a lot of... This season... And I people say, you say it all the time, this season had been pretty low for injuries. The last 4 weeks, it's been insane. Is that because the NBA has been forcing or trying to encourage teams to not load manage their guys? I don't know. But the recent times has been just guys going down and getting hurt left, right, and center. Not much you can do about it, unfortunately. Indiana, Detroit is the next game. Injuries in this one? Yeah, of course. But let's look at the schedule. They both have literally identical schedules. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday this week for both teams, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, which is dreadful. Not only is it 3 games, not only do they not play on the weekend, but they play only on high volume days. So your TJ McConnells, Aaron Neesmiths, Andrew Nemhards, James Wiseman, Simone Fontecchio, maybe. Like, you might not even use them. You might use them 0 games next week. So it's great for this week, stinking for next week. We got an upgrade of Doug McDermott up to questionable. He's missed the last 10 years for a calf injury. Cade missed the last game for a rest. He's back. Isaiah Stewart's out for a hamstring. I would say that he's out for the rest of this week. Simone Fontecchio is questionable still. Asar Thompson's still out. Absolutely no idea what's going on there. Quentin Grimes is out with his knee. Then Taj Gibson, who started the second half in place of Stewart, only ended up with 10 minutes, has hamstring soreness, and he is questionable. I don't think we need to look at him. I need to watch Tyrese Halliburton. I need to figure out what's going on. I think that he's going to be a really interesting player next season for fantasy. Does he fall out of the first round? Because the last 2 months he's been clearly out of the first round. The first 3 months he was the top 6 player, top 7 player. I don't know where he goes. He's been really bad. For Detroit, James Wiseman. And I say James Wiseman not because I love James Wiseman, even though he's be much better. There is a scenario, if Fontecchio is out, that they might play Wiseman and Duran together, and 27 minutes of Wiseman is useful enough for us to consider. TJ McConnell keeps getting boosts in Indiana. Even in 20 minutes a night, he's doing plenty, and yeah, that's enough. We use him for that. And then Fontecchio is getting the boost because Asar is out and Stewart is out. But if Simone is out, you're going to get Stanley Amude in that spot. You're going to get Tosan Evbamwan in that spot as well. It never sounds like I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I don't think I am, but it never sounds right. So Fontecchio could get boosted, or he could be a complete zero. We just don't know, unfortunately, as I look at the time. Sacramento, Toronto. Injuries piling up again. Now, the Toronto ones, you've got to be a little iffy on some of them. Sacramento does play Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, so they've got that nice little back-to-back. And then next week, they go 4 games, which is good. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. So at least one streamable day in there. Toronto, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday this week. That's nice. And then next week, yuck. Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. All high-volume days, and then only 3 of them in total. Fan of Pants, Kevin Huerter is out. I would say his regular season is over. Sasha Vezenkov has been upgraded to questionable, while Trey Lyles is out. Emmanuel Quickly is out for personal reasons. We hope everything's all right there. RJ Barrett is out. We know things aren't all right there, and I don't think he returns. And then DJ Carton is out with his issue. People keep asking me about Barnes and Pirtle. They're done. They're not coming back. I don't know this, but having surgery on your hand with 5 weeks to go in a season is pretty unlikely you return to play 2 games in the 10th of April. I just don't think that's likely to happen. So, Barnes and Pirtle, I don't even put on this list because I just assume that they're done. Keegan Murray needs to be better. He hasn't been, but he needs to be. So we'll see if he's able to improve his production. The opportunities are there, clearly. We need to watch that. Well, for Toronto, Jonte Porter, he doesn't score and he's got bad field goal percentage. One of the worst field goal percentage players as a big man in the NBA. But he does everything else. And he should be on rosters. Keon Ellis is getting a big boost in Sacramento because he's going to start with Kevin Huerter out. The man gets a lot of steals. He won't shoot much at all. But he'll get steals. He'll get out-of-position blocks. He'll get some assists. There is streaming value in him, especially with the Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back coming up. And then watch for Jordan Nwora for Toronto. No Quickly, no Barrett. Nwora is a guy that can get shots up. He is a guy that I think is a much better player than, I think Ochai Abaji's Nigerian national team. I think he was on that. Anyway, is he? I think he is. Anyway, Nwora was. He's much better than Abaji. He is sneaky ad for the Wednesday, Friday, Saturday schedule here, Nwora. He's available everywhere. Sneaky ad. Maybe it's not so sneaky. Maybe people are well aware of the Jordan Nwora phenomenon. But yeah, have a look. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That is what brings home your fantasy championship trophy. But it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything that you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts that you need at the prices you want, it is easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply, and eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to US customers. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Milwaukee Boston. Big names, big players. How much are they out there? I don't know. The Bucks go Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, so they got a back-to-back. Chris Middleton sitting one of those games, guaranteed. And then they have actually an unbelievably good schedule next week. If you want to talk about good schedules, they have it. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. 3 quality games. Considering so much of the NBA has 0, that's ridiculously good. The Celtics, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday. Do they do wholesale rest to White, Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Porzingis? Horford, Porzingis, guaranteed. Not playing Friday, Saturday. One of them, for sure. The others, not sure about. And then they go Monday, Thursday, Saturday next week. So they got 2 quality games. So good value there. But no back-to-backs. Giannis missed the last game, and they said it's just for rest. But Doc Rivers is a legendary elite-tier liar with injuries. So I don't know what to believe there. But he's questionable. He's not probable. So that makes me think that maybe Doc was lying? Surely not. Marjon Beauchamp is probable. Jason Tatum's back. But interestingly, Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown popped up as questionable. That makes me think that Drew and Jaylen will sit one of the Friday, Saturday games, probably not Wednesday. Well, Slam and Sammy Hauser, who they said, well, I could be out a while. Oh, yeah. No timetable. What, 1 game? He's on the injury report as questionable. Al Horford is back. And then he'll sit out one of the Friday, Saturday. I think Porzingis sits Friday, Horford Saturday. What's on my radar? Chris Middleton, if he plays. He's not on the injury report, so I think he'll be fine, and then he'll sit on Thursday. But he was putting up a lot of shots. We'll see how that looks with Giannis. Is the 25 minutes enough for Middleton? It is, but 2 more games this week? And then Porzingis, who, like Middleton, went absolutely bananas in low minutes. Now, he won't have as free a reign to do that in the next game because Tatum will be there. But I want to see what they limit him to minutes-wise. Bobby Portis keeps getting the boost from Milwaukee. We're seeing him go a little bit more towards him versus Brook Lopez at times, so that's interesting from the Glenn Rivers. And then Peyton Pritchard's been playing really well. Now, I want to see what Pritchard can do in a scenario where the team is healthy, but they might not be. Jaylen or Drew might be out, meaning Pritchard gets another crack at it, plus another crack on Friday, maybe another crack on Saturday. And 2 more quality games next week, which I don't think he'll play that much, but there's a little bit of value there for old mate Peyton Pritchard, Oregon legend. The next one, the Utah Jazz, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Jazz go Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. The Thunder go Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Next week, the Jazz have the bad schedule. 4 games, but all high volume. The Thunder have Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so at least they play on that Tuesday low volume, and that's it. Now, at the time of me recording this, I didn't have statuses, or time of me preparing this, I didn't have statuses on the Jazz, but I do now. John Collins, after getting a finger to the face, is officially questionable. Jordan Clarkson is officially out. And Larry Markkinen is officially out. Of course he is. Of course Markkinen is out. It is the first game of a back-to-back. I thought they might have pushed him through to play him at least on that game, to get him 2 in a row. It is going to be a frustrating scenario for Markkinen here rest of the way. He probably plays Thursday. Maybe he plays Saturday. Then they go against Dallas. They have the Houston trio. Dallas, Spurs, Rockets to start next week. He plays max 2 games next week, and then after that I think he's done. It's going to be annoying. For the Jazz, I want to watch Colin Sexton because he is taking on this Clarkson role, and Clarkson will be out again. So we're going to see more opportunities for him to do that and play some pretty good minutes with pretty good usage. We'll see how long that does last, but I want to watch it. And then I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the show earlier today, the Fantasy Trend show, saying that his free throw numbers are down. His free throw attempt rate is down. His steals are down significantly. And he's been outside the top 20 over the last month. So let's see what he's bringing. I think Walker Kessler's getting a boost. Now, Markkinen out helps, and potentially Collins out helps too. So there's some boosted value there for him. Also, Bryce Sensabaugh will get a boost with Markkinen out, and Taylor Hendricks gets a boost too. And then Josh Giddey, not that his minutes are getting a boost, but his per minute production is way up. And I don't know why that is and why that's the case, but it is, and we're not ignoring it. There's some absolutely annoying teams on Wednesday, one of them being the Portland Trail Blazers. They host the LA Clippers. The Clippers go Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. The Blazers go Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And then next week, the Clippers have 0 qualities. The Blazers have 0 qualities as well. Plus, they don't play on the weekend at all. Really frustrating schedules. Norman Powell, they listed him questionable. They listed him questionable for last game, which was one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in my life. So I'm going to have a level of skepticism about Norm Powell being ready for this one. Russell Westbrook's out. The Ides of March legend Jeremy Grant. Like, what are we doing with it? I think he's not good enough to hold. He might come back and play like a 40-minute game and have 20 points, and you go, sick. What have I done? The odds of this guy playing a significant role, look, at the moment I'm listing him doubtful. That's my own status for Wednesday. Then they have Friday, Saturday back-to-back. He's not playing both of those. So what are we getting out of him? I don't think we hold. Matisse Thybulle left the last game early. He'd missed the game on Saturday, played 5 minutes on Monday, then left. I think you can drop him, and I don't think he plays, honestly. Sharp and Brogdon both out. I want Zubats for the Clippers, because if we're getting 22 minutes of PJ Tucker as a small ball center, then Zubats is not a rosterable player. You can hold through the nice schedule end of the week, 3 games in 5 nights, but if he's getting 23 a night, that's just not enough. So let's watch that. Jabari Walker, I didn't even talk about him on the recap show yesterday, but with Jeremy Grant out and Walker back, he played 34 minutes. Now, he was a guy that earlier in the season, he got the starting job over Kamara. And I was interested because I said, I don't know, I had a premonition. I said, I don't think Jeremy Grant's going to be playing much in March. So I think if Walker's already starting and then Grant's going to be out in March, I don't know, just something might happen. You never know. You never know in March with Jeremy Grant. Yeah, that's just a wild guess came true. That Jabari Walker would get a good role, and then he just was terrible. And then he got hurt. Now he got good minutes. I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Who's boosted? Terrence Mann with Norman Powell most likely out, I think gets a boost. I'm absolutely not excited about it, but he might get a boost. And then Delano Banton's getting boosts. Now, I just never know what to do. Look at his minutes. 38, 38, 22, 19, 42, 42, 34. Okay. He starts sometimes. He comes off the bench sometimes. The 22-minute game was off the bench. The 19-minute game was starting. The 34-minute-a-night game was off the bench. I don't know what to make of him. At the moment, you probably do want to roster him, but it could go tits up at any point. And that's what makes it tough. Plus, his ability to murder your percentages is not a quality I like in a fantasy option, usually. Although I think we might overrate the impact of negative percentages somewhat. That's an off-season task for me. Philadelphia and Phoenix. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for the Sixers, and then they have the 0 quality game scheduled next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. The Suns go Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday this week, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no weekend game, no quality is bad. Like, that's bad for both teams. Remember, every team is, not every team, there's so many teams that are dealing with shocking schedules next week. Embiid's out. Toby Harris is officially questionable. I had him listed doubtful. Again, when you hear the coaches, I think it's going to be a while. And then they said that on Monday when he was ruled out. Oh, yeah, it could be a while here. And then he's questionable a day later. Just that's I'm going to be a little skeptical of him playing. So, look, lean Harris doubtful. Melton out, Covington out. Okogie's questionable for the Suns. Damian Lee is out. Who cares? Shout out to Damian Lee. If Harris is out, we need to watch Nico Batum. He's going to play huge. He's played 38 minutes the last 2 games. One game was good, one was bad. But in 38 minutes, you at least consider streaming to get those defensive stats in. While for Phoenix, Grayson Allen's on absolute fire, shooting like 55% from 3 as detailed in the show earlier today. The minutes are through the roof, and we'll see if they continue to be through the roof and the shooting continues to be like that, and where his value sits. But at the moment, that's really strong. But like when you look at it, like in a points league next week, is Grayson Allen worth it? 3 games, high volume days. Would you even play him? Probably, but if the shot falls away a little bit, maybe you wouldn't. And that's the same with the Sixers, like Nick Batum. Paul Reed do I hold for next week? What do I do with Kelly Oubre? Like, would I even play those guys on those high volume days? Don't know. Who's getting boosted? Well, Oubre is getting boosted. They're giving him a lot of minutes. He scored 22 points in each of the last 2 games. He's shot well. I don't have faith in Kelly Oubre doing that at all. He had 5 blocks last game, which is fake as well. So let's see what happens here. But with everyone out, and with Harris expected to be out, or I expect him to be out, Oubre's got some value. And then Bradley Beal is doing a lot at the moment. You wouldn't believe it, but over the last, 3 weeks, Beal is a better fantasy producer than Kevin Durant. They are leaving, or they're giving more towards Beal. I don't know why that is, but it is something that is happening. Last game. Do I have to? Like Memphis and Golden State. The Grizzlies have only Wednesday, Friday this week. Friday's against the Spurs. That is a big litmus test. Do they play Bane and Jackson against the Spurs? Or do personal reasons, soreness? How sore is Desmond Bane's ankles going to be on Friday? It's horribly sore. But if they play through it, then you know what? I still don't know what to do with this team. And I even more won't know if Bane and Jackson play on Friday. Then they have Monday, Wednesday, Saturday next week. So the Saturday is good. The Warriors go Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And then next week they go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Vince Williams, I think you can drop him. I just don't know when he's returning. We haven't got an update on him. Marcus Smart will be out. Luke Kennard missed for personal reasons last game. I've got him questionable. Lamar Stevens questionable. Scottie Pippen, I didn't even put a status there. I think he's questionable. Draymond Green is officially questionable for the Warriors. So is Moses Moody. But the Grizzlies are just all over the... Like, who knows? They went from playing 13 guys, including 20 G League players, 20 minutes a night, to saying we're going 40 minutes a night for 6 different guys. Okay. When everyone was banged up, Santiago Dumbo played 25 a night. With everyone healthy, he plays 39 a night. All right. There's no pattern in any of this stuff. So for the Grizzlies, I want to watch Desmond Bane, who played 37 minutes in his second game back from a grade 3 ankle sprain. Let's see how sore it gets in this one. How far do they go with the ruse? Do they pull him early and say will not return with ankle soreness in this game? Don't be shocked. That's my conspiracy theory. Trace Jackson-Davis is the guy I want to watch in the Warriors. I think he's an ad, honestly. He's doing enough. They have 3 games in 5 nights, and then on Tuesday next week, which is huge. I would add him. John Conchar getting a boost, but okay. He might not, because they might go back to Kennard, and he doesn't play enough. Like, it's just too, there's just too much uncertainty with it to you really feel like any level of confidence in what Conchar is going to do, even though the numbers are amazing. That's the tough part there. I just don't really know how to judge that. So Conchar's getting that boost, and Jackson Davis getting the boost there for Golden State as well. Today's episode is brought to you by Nissan Motors. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little bit further? Do you ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Well, our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The 2024 Nissan Rogue is perfect for city drives and great escapes. Class-exclusive Google built-in is your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone. Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store are built right into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect mid-size crossover for your next adventure. Also at Nissan, their incredible lineup also includes the 2024 Nissan Armada. It will change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style, tow bigger, and explore further in the 2024 Nissan Armada. Take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go and find your next big adventure. Shop nissanusa.com. Okay, so let's get into looking at how the schedule plays out. If you talk back-to-backs Wednesday through to Thursday, there are 4 teams who have got that schedule. It's Milwaukee, it's Phoenix, it's Sacramento, and the Jazz. We already know about the Jazz and the market and stuff. Middleton's going to sit one there for Milwaukee. What about Giannis? I don't know. And Sacramento's without Huerter, so a big boost there for Keon Ellis. If we go 3 games in 4 nights, there are a lot. We've got a little bit of a chunked up schedule. We've got Boston, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento, Toronto, and Utah go 3 games in 4 nights starting Wednesday, whereas Charlotte, Dallas, the Lakers, and the Wolves have 1 in 4. So the fact that Naz Reid is out today, and then there's 1 game in 4 nights starting Wednesday, if you're in the finals of your matchup, you can't hold through that because you don't even know that he plays the next one. You can't hold. And in 10-team leagues in playoffs, otherwise, that's hard to hold as well. Even though he can have good numbers, but how much is he going to play if he's going to play? And when he comes off the bench behind Gobert, he's limited anyway. So, yeah. Look at the next 5 days. It's important here because 16 teams have 3 games in 5 nights. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the rest of this week. Charlotte and Dallas have 1. So Charlotte and Dallas play Tuesday. You could hold a Dallas guy until Thursday if you wanted, but you can also get a +2 by moving off a Hornets guy and moving off a Mavericks guy after Tuesday and getting anyone from those teams that play 3 games in 5 nights. So there's lots of them. If you look at 6 nights schedule, that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday next week. Remembering Monday next week, a high volume day. But there are a lot of teams. Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, Indiana, Clippers, Sixers, Suns, Blazers, Kings, Raptors, Jazz. And Charlotte, Dallas, the Lakers, the Wolves, and the Magic have 2 games in 6 nights. So moving off of those guys can be useful. But also remember, that extra game on Monday is a high volume game. So if it's a Peyton Pritchard type player, would you even start them on the Monday? Probably not. So the value then decreases. So our streaming strategy changes a bit. In the next 7 nights, again, we look at things calendarically. Word that I made up, but I do like. So if it's Monday to Sunday, we've got a 5-game week, we all froth it. But the Kings have got a 5-game week. In the next 7 days, Wednesday through to Tuesday, they play 5 games. So a big opportunity here for Keon Ellis. Charlotte, Minnesota, and Orlando have 2 games in the next 7 days. If they had 2-game weeks, we'd be horrified. And this is bad for Minnesota, who already had a 2-game week last week, and now I've got another 2-game in 7-day period here. Again, leading into what do you do with Naz? What do you do with Alexander Walker? What do you do with Anderson? Probably not worth that hold for that period of time. And lastly, we look at 8 days, remembering that next Wednesday, high volume as well. There's a million teams here. Cleveland, Detroit, Golden State, Indiana, Clippers, Thunder, Sixers, Suns, Blazers, Kings, Raptors, and Jazz go 5 and 8. While the Hornets, the Mavericks, the Wolves, and the Magic have 3 and 8, like we talked about. They also had the 2 in 7. Not going to go any further than that, but I'm going to go now and look at some Yahoo point streaming. For Wednesday, Karis LeVert, huge value. I really like Jonte Porter's value. Jackson Davis is there. GG Jackson for Memphis. Bruce Brown and Scooter Henderson. Yes, the shooting can be bad, but at some point, it'll go in at least at below average numbers, and then his points numbers will be okay. For ESPN points leagues, got a lot of guys that I like here as well. Karis LeVert, Jonte Porter, Trace Jackson Davis, Jordan Nwora, Aaron Nesmith, and Timothy John McConnell. Let's look at some individual categories. If you're looking for a points streamer, we're looking at GG and Jordan Nwora. For threes, we're looking at Sam Merrill and Malik Beasley. The Bucks with that really good schedule next week as well is interesting. For rebounds, I'm looking at Trace Jackson Davis and Santi Aldama. For blocks, I'm looking at Jackson Davis and Mohamed Bamba, who was great last game. For guard stats, I'm looking at LeVert and McConnell, the easiest assist streams you'll ever find. Steals, well, these are pretty easy as well. Chris Dunn and Keon Ellis. Ellis is a name that is appearing a lot on this show. And percentages, we're looking at Trace Jackson Davis and Jalen Smith to bump up our field goal percentage. And for free throws, it's a couple of rookies. Scoot Henderson and the big fella, Grade A Dick. And that brings us to the end of a preview show for Wednesday's 8 games. Go ahead and thumb it up. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments down below as well. And on audio, come across and watch the video. And on video, go listen to the audio. Double bang it. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.